Okay, once again, welcome back right here on Monday Night Football. Another edition, of course, interesting edition, of course, right here on Star TV with my colleagues. That is Mbai Kor on my left, and then Ibrahim Campo Jata on my right. Yero, of course, will be joining us later during the program. We'll be talking about some very important issues during the Monday Night Football, as we will be looking at, what is happening, to Gambian football players playing abroad. We'll also be talking about Coach Tom, who was in Denmark to observe Velgi versus Viborg. The game ended 1-1. And after the game, the Gambia gaffer had a brief discussion with Hamza Barry, Musa Juara, and Alassane Jata. We'll be talking about that right here on Monday Night Football, because we know that Tom is also, preparing for the Africa Cup of Nations. But we'll also be talking about the issue of Gamtel. As you already know, Gamtel used to be a Gambian football club. Historically, Gamtel has a roots, have history in this country. They've won championships, in this country. But recently, we've learned that Gamtel has been sold to a foreigner. We'll be discussing about that. We'll be talking to, Buba Falaboy, all the way from Sweden. Buba has, some insight, depth insight into what happened, what triggered the sales, of Gamtel. We'll be discussing about it right here on Monday Night Football. Let me just welcome my colleagues. That is Ibrahim Campo Jara together with Mbai Kor. Campo, you're welcome.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. Good evening to wonderful viewers. Welcome to Monday Night Football here. And also greeting our listeners, our viewers out there who are watching us live on Saturday on Facebook too. So, interesting headline. So, it's going to be another interesting Monday Night Football. All right, Michael.
Thank you very much, Sarah. It is always a pleasure and a joy for me joining with you in the same platform, simply because I always learn a lot from you, and you are also very straightforward when it comes to the way you analyze things, regardless of, even you are a Manchester fan, if you have been whipped, no matter how heavy your body is, so you always come to the point. Yeah, and I know Yero is somehow delayed because of, he's a Manchester fan and he's been beaten heavily, so the body is so heavy, but, he will be welcome to the program. I know he will manage.
We'll be talking about, Manchester United being beaten by Manchester City. Of course, I told my friend Yero, that Manchester United was not going to win. But they told me that, I should not watch the game inside Saidus' house, because they say anytime I come to Ibo Town and watch the game, Manchester United got beaten. But this time around, I was not there, and then Manchester United was beaten. Yeah.
It's, as you said, if we come to that point, it will be very interesting. But one thing, what makes me so happy of Manchester's losing this derby is the two players that score you last year are the same two players that score you this time. So I'm very happy of the loss that Manchester have.
Thank you very much. Well, thank you very much for that. We'll be discussing about what is happening in Europe also. As you already know, Bayern got 8 goals, which was crazy, for Bayern Munich. We'll be discussing about those things right here on Monday Night Football. But first we have, Buba Falaboy online. We will like to welcome Buba on the platform. Buba, you're welcome.
Thank you so much, Sarah Kamara, and good evening to you and your panelists. And it's very everybody listening to Star TV right now.
All right. Thank you very much, Buba. Buba, me and you, we've gone way back, those days at Vibes FM. It used to be very, very interesting. It's good to have you on my platform again.
Yes, it's an honor. As your other panelists, I cannot remember the name. As he said, you have been motivation to all of us. You opened the doors, you did those the doors for me, and I am grateful. And I'm grateful for this opportunity. You are one of the people that I can call because you gave me that opportunity back in Brazil. That was Chelsea and Bayern München in München. So I'm glad that I'm able to give back to my country, putting Gambia at focal or putting Gambia on focus, because now I barely rise or talk about European football. In fact, all my focus has been on Gambian football, and it has paid dividend. because we have seen a lot of success, players playing in the Champions League, players playing in the Europa League, move in left and right. This is the kind of exposure that you are in Reps FM or when you move to Star FM, just like the Senegalese do. Whenever Sadio a goal or whenever I score a goal, it is on the news directly. That was the time of the same mentality that we wanted to give. And I'm glad that we have till we achieve our first Africa goal on. And I mean now you have players all over the world in Qatar, Saudi Arabia. So just to cut it short, I'm very grateful you led me to the right way.
Okay. Buba, before we discuss about Gamtel issue, you are someone who is very focused, on Gambian football, especially Gambian players playing abroad. Even though, Buba, you are in Sweden, but you do go and watch, Gambian players, all over Europe. What interests you, most with Gambian football?
Yes, as I said, if you look up in the 90s or in the 80s, or Idris Unko or Jeffrey season, we have in those statistics can justify that these players played. And it was important to wake up on Monday morning to see that the back pages or the front pages of the standard, the foreign or the point that we have that are connected to us because Tampa has good seeing Musa Barrow play Marathon or Pa Barrow of West Coast or everywhere we have seen training. So I wanted to bring something that is so close to us and remind you in fact as I said to you in in 98 is when we have this performance this the loom came of CC that is a song she was playing. Sometimes the reports or the statistics provided to us were not accurate. We wanted to make sure that we get the accurate information also translated to local languages that we can speak. Like when we were studying it in West, it was the wall of the Mandinka, the Fulas. I mean, we used to give back those vibes and that's why it was important for me also that we had about government players because uh, Mamin Sanyang before he moved to Bayern, I have written about him. I have given his contact to Ibu Faye. We have players like Jan. And he was sent to he went to everyone materialized to play in everything. And there are so many players that we discover like Mahdi Kamara and so many players that that has Gambian roots and maybe one way or they could have played.
Yeah, okay. Buba, let me just, you pull your legs here. What was the reaction, looking at the, Africa One Nation draw, Gambia being drawn, in a very, very tough group, especially with our neighbors, Senegal, and also having to meet again Guinea, Cameroon.
Yes, thing is football because we are still in four because of our FIFA. You have seen recently in October matches, we didn't play any matches. So we are going back to that drawing board that we are four. To move forward to pot three or two, it's a gradual process. And I think we will do that. We cannot achieve that if we are not playing these matches or if we are not getting uh, good results in the qualifiers. And another way that we can go from pot four to pot two or three gradually is that by beating these big nations. Because when we beat Senegal, we have exposure of scouts. Like other countries will be interested to play friendly matches with us because we have seen Senegal have played against Senegal have played against Colombia in the national team. And I think what the journalist thinks and what the fans thinks is quite different from the play. Back to the players, man, these players, the Musa Baro, the Steve, they grew up in Congo, they grew up in the GFF League, wanting to play at this big stage, wanting to play against these big countries. Despite that, Senegal and all these are not having players like before. But I think challenge for them that they are really, really looking forward. And there's possibility, there's a possibility that we can go forward. But all my hopes is players that want to showcase their talent, that make the country proud. And I think that with that said, I am optimistic they will definitely go forward to the next round.
Okay. Now let's go to Gamtel. We've realized that Gamtel has been sold, and then I've seen you made some analysis regarding that. Can you just give us a brief explanation as to the reason why Gamtel was sold in the first place? Because it was a club that many Gambian things should not have been sold to a foreigner because of the history behind it.
It's true, but in the last 3 seasons, you will notice that Gamtel have been escaping relegation. And there are some times in the news that you will hear that Gamtel players have not been paid for their monthly salaries or their allowances. So all those things were piling up to the management. But sometimes, Sarah, like you have just taken a new route. You haven't completely left the media fraternity, but you went to another career. So sometimes these managers, these coaches, when they try something for the longest time and it's not working, they should give they should give they should step aside and give others the lead. And I think happening with Gamtel, with ports and with forces. And when I say with ports and armed forces, I mean like the presidents, the executives of these clubs, because they have been there for the longest time. And I think the ideas, the way forward is definitely not aligned with this current generation of this present century. So that was a problem. The soul was not there anymore to drive this team. The motivation was not there. And Gamtel itself, as a company, as a state-owned, has been battling with some financial issues, and now they're going to be having problems and trying to uh, put uh, put money on football. Where you know that in return we have seen news or stories about the JFF not completing this monetary subvention that they were supposed to give the players or supposed to give this team. So I mean, they were spending more than what they were gaining. But again, I agree that I have raised about the issue of a foreigner. But like Manchester United, the Glazers, they're not from England, and so many clubs, the Fenway of Liverpool, they are not from England. So it's also an open dialogue. But what I haven't agreed is that I think Gamtel could have sold part of the share to a foreigner, then they could have maintained a share of the team, as you say, because it has a great history, it has a great heritage. So many great players have passed there, and so many servants of the club has passed there. So I think the best way they could have was to sell a share. And mind you that in 5 years to come, they will regret selling the club for 1.5 million, because if you look at what Steve have invested in his club for the one season that he has been in the second division or TMT Academy, if you look at what they have invested in their project, or the Allied United, if you look at what they have invested in their project, or even Fortune, it's more than 1.5 million. Maybe it was a panic to buy the team, but right now you have seen over the news that Sadio Mane have by a club the Arabs are looking. So they could have sold it a tune of lot of millions, but maybe it was a panic and the season is approaching. They don't know where to stand. But I think inviting an investor will have been the wiser decision to do, so that they can maintain that prestige, they can maintain the heritage, they can maintain the structure. They will have just changed like the personnel, pump in more money, because normally when these investors come, they bring a lot of money that you know that you can buy players, because uh, uh, it's a state-owned is a state-owned company. Also, here to the parliamentarians, the members of the parliament, they have a very big role to play. They could have summoned the executive of Gamtel, or Gamtel as a company, to the House of Parliament to ask them this question. By just selling a football club that is owned by the Gambia. But as I said, the management of course, the management of armed forces, the management of Gamtel, the writings have been on the wall that these teams, one day or the other, they will collapse because of the financial model, because of the motivation from the management down to the last person that's not there, and they cannot keep in tow with other clubs that is imagine the likes of Steve's
Yeah,
team or TMT.
Buba, if I may come here, but you're talking about, a telecommunication, company, they have money, and I think money that they should have spent, on the team. Yet you've talked about, the management. I think they should have sell a share, or they should have, clear the management and then bring in a new crop of, executives, that are in line with modern football.
Yes, that is also most of the time. Gamtel as a company, they will trust the people that have given them those success, and those success include two FA Cup title, four FA Cup titles, and two league titles. They will definitely list it because wherever you go, Sarah, in the Gambia is about how much percentage am I having when this deal is done. Because mind you, they were having a player in the name of Laika that was Bangalore, and that later went on to 10 gauge. That percentage of the money that they sold Laika, but it's back to kickback. How much percentage am I getting, me as a staff of a Comtel, or me as a uh, executive member of the football? Because overall they cannot justify the money's been given or the money's been spent. And mind you, Gamtel didn't open their doors for other sponsors to come because this league they have sponsors. You may know or not know, but I think Gamtel may be having they are having so many debts. Immediately I published the story, I saw that they make an agreement to pay some company some enough money, like some and this and that. So that shows you the company itself is like is struggling on daily basis, and they had no room to invest in football. But as I said to you, it still is the role of the members of the parliament to summon this executive or to summon the president of Gamtel to put this question forward, because you know they that there was a bidding, and the highest bidder, that was the Senegalese, he won because the other bidder didn't wanted to pay in down installment. But this Senegalese, by the name I think is Youssou if I don't remember, if I don't forget, it's Youssou Faal or something. He came with 1.5 million. This is a state thing. Trust me, if it was put in the global alert, like there will be many from Asia, from Europe, or from even the Gulf, because people want to invest in football. People want to own a club, irrespective of which division, irrespective of it is in third division or in second division, because your identity, you are bringing a new tech, you are bringing your money, which is important. Just look at Sadio Mane. The team he bought is in third division team, but maybe in 5 years' time, it will compete in League One in France.
Yeah. Was it worth it, selling the club at 1.5, looking at the status of the club, was it worth it? And also, in your own analysis, was it an executive decision, within Gamtel, because for me, I believe it should involve even the managing director of Gamtel, it should involve even the honorable minister, because at the end of the day, it's a telecommunication, football team. It's owned by Gambians, of course, because Gamtel, of course, is taxpayers' money.
Yes, I think it was a panic sell because of approach it. We are maybe just like 2 weeks away from the kick of the season, the second division and first division respectively. And this same team were owing players money, and they were having no money at hand to pay these players. And these players have families to feed. Remind you, the funding of Gamtel itself, it has gone down. You have just seen of it how Real de Banjul branded their jersey, they unveiled their jersey. So sometimes you have to look at the value of the players. Mind you, Gamtel for the past years, despite Alisson been passing, Alisson passed there and Assad passed there, they don't have that wow player that that they have money to sold in Ukraine, so those also it attracts investors to your club. It's not enough just winning the titles, but what have you achieved? I have to go back to remind you, ports, hawks, armed forces, they fail to have mini stadiums. Having been they had mini stadiums, the incomes will be generating because these are the same mini stadiums they will rent to this GFFF to play the division or second division or even the third division. But right now, like Hawks, Ports, and Forces, they were standing alone without nothing to show apart from the titles they have won. Like in their financial transaction, they didn't have any plus that we have scored this amount of money. So most of the investors they also look at how much is this club worth. But I think definitely it was a panic sell, but it was a solution. They were looking solution for their problems, so they have to sell it uh, to move on. And I think it has destroyed generation. But as I told you, like Gamtel, one time they were training at Abuko behind that Gamtel field. It was a very very bad field. Gamtel, they have been investing towards armed forces. They have been with their own stadiums. They are these big vans or buses taking players from field to the training grounds, but they have struggled. And the issue of Gamtel is just a tip that sports and armed forces in the long run will also be sold.
Yeah, but now, where does the money goes to? The money generated from the sales, that is 1.5 million. Where will it go? Because you've just mentioned that they have debts, they owe players salary. Do you think they would refund players their money?
Yes, a player has confirmed to me that when they sold the team, the team is now called Serekunda FA. Because Serekunda to have been struggling to have a team in second. I think they went up to second division now, but the team currently is called FA to maintain four of the players that have played last season. And one of the key players told me that they have received their 2 months that was owed to them. Maybe it was delayed because in football, when you money is solid and it's delayed, you have to put some interest. You have to double the money. Not so they have the I have to go back to Gamtel to ask them what the money, where have you put it. But I know as a buyer, as a middleman, like Campo is a middleman. He is back and forth in Senegal. People people connected to will instantly have their share. If it is 10,000 shares, they will definitely have. But it will be interesting to know where exactly they put this money to.
Yeah. Finally, are you optimistic, that you will be seeing results, from the new Gamtel called Serekunda?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, because because the new owner is a football oriented. He's a Senegalese. He's the owner of Oslo. Because now players he can bring players from Senegal to, and normally before they come, they have do their all they have done their groundwork and they have seen the market because you Gambian players are tempted by money. If you pay most, if you pay the highest, they will definitely play for you. And if you are paying your coach like 15,000, 20,000, because all these big coaches that we have seen around moving, because it's the good incentives they get from these coaches like Jara and coaches, all others that we have seen, they have been paid good money. So and I think his first uh, first target, maybe he can stay in the second division, but he can also equally try to gain promotion. But maybe he will be selling more of players than trying to be promoted because he has a pool of players and he's a very respected football man. He promised to to get back to me when things are dusted, so that he can also share his plans, what he has for the future regarding Serekunda FA.
Okay, thank you very much, Buba, for joining us from Sweden.
Thank you so much, Sarah.
Okay, thank you very much. That was, of course, Buba Falla Boye talking to us about Gamtel issues. My colleagues here with me, that is Mbai Koriba Makampo Jata. Are you familiar with Gamtel? And then you somebody, you know, who is very familiar, of course, with Senegalese or football. And then you're also familiar with, you know, football owners, you know, in Senegal. How do you see this transaction?
Yeah, when I did the transaction, I was a little bit disappointed because if you look at Youssou Faal, you have a club called Oslo. You see this Kerepen Jada is from his academy and John Nonopi. I was from Oslo Academy, so they promote. They are playing national. We are in the same pool with my former club that I was working. That is KF, based in Grand Bow, but later moved to Chess. But I know Youssou Faal personally. I met him alongside the lack of Chong Hossein when they didn't talk about but he's a very football author. But I agree with what you was saying. The first thing, Gamtel, they panic. Money is not there.
It was a panic buy.
Panic buy. Yeah. Gamtel KMOC is a GFF. He's part of all I wanted to buy club 2 million. They said, but what they also they do not advance.
Okay, it was not put in the market.
Market was not put in the market, yeah, and they don't advise it. Then there will be the European team or the Asian team where you know have to go and buy the team. But now football is business. But selling it is more benefit than that guy. The guy had played in many areas in Africa. He get guys from Guinea-Bissau, Mali, Mauritania, and bring them to Senegal. In his academy, put them in the second division, and he later sell them. So the same strategy is going to use in the Gambia. He can spend the money, but you have people that you can do that. But Gambia is for everyone. So it was a very big role. Although I'm not fighting Youssou Faal, but definitely a Gambian president man doesn't go to Senegal, but even in national 2 division. I think they don't even buy anything. But I know him, but I know he will spend a lot. But we have some Gambian players. But the interest, everything will go away. Sometimes you lose some of these players, yeah. Sometimes you take some players from it. And this team is struggling in Senegal to qualify for the main focus
is to make money.
We make money, even when promoted to someone for division in Senegal or even in Gambia too. But this is a bad decision. 1.5 million, very small money. Buy the club. Buy the club. Some, like you mentioned, like Steve, what they spend in a year is more than 1.5 million. Like a foot. Selling it 1 to 1.5. Now where are you? Nobody knows. They don't know many. Let them sell 50%, and then they also go to 50%. Okay. So somebody will come and pay
like what the Glazer family want to do with Manchester United.
Exactly.
For a percentage, yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
But it's a bad decision for Senegal. I respect Youssou Faal, but one of my closest friends in Senegal, he told me that Youssou Faal have a very big problem in Gambia. Nobody told him. I don't know, but he will find it very difficult.
All right. You've had the interview we had with Falla Bowe, and you also know that, you know, Gamtel is already being sold. Now it's called Serekunda FA. What's your assessment on it?
Yeah, my assessment on it is, to be honest, Sarah, I feel so disappointed. And it's so disheartening also. Disappointed in the sense that Gamtel is among the biggest institutions in this country. So there is no excuse that Gamtel should have and all their player areas. I disagree on that. That is only showing that the management have no interest when it comes to the game of football.
Right.
If they want to give an excuse, of course, Sarah, internets are going and people are connected to their ADSL, the fiber cable, and these are monthly subscription. That alone can survive the team. But giving those areas, discouraging the players is unjust. Players are employees of Gamtel. Gamtel, it is only the players that they ignore to owe them salary of 3 months. But why they don't owe 1 month's salary to other departments in Gamtel? Have you ever heard that? It is because they did not respect football. And why is it so disappointing and a disadvantage here is, today, he bought the team, the Senegalese bought the team. He have all right to bring his own setup at management. Now, how many young Gambians, aspiring young coaches, were in the bench to build a career in coaching? Today, if he comes and kick those people out, where are you putting them? After all the time they wish to aspire or to be a coach.
Yeah, because I don't think whether we have a quota that will say, for example, a quota rule that will say, okay, this is the amount of foreign players that have to be, playing, in a club.
Is it different? There's nothing more than 5.
Nothing more than 5
I
foreigners.
believe he will bring a Malian. But he have to have a contact in Mali and also in Guinea. He will bring those boys in Ghana.
Did you know something that you don't know, Campo?
No, I know. Youssou Faal, if you look at this thing,
Yeah.
in Senegal.
Okay.
Look at Malians are there, a lot of Guinea connect. And he will start.
He wants to blend it.
You see 5 players that are from Senegal to come and play. Even there's a player that I was starting with, he told me that he's in picking, but they want to take him to Gambia to play there. But he's around Gambia, they don't pay. And then he's going to another team, but Youssou Faal contacted him to come and play for him. In Gambia, he was asking me, I don't know, but maybe they pay at the Senegalese place. It's different. Even Senegal, second division, they pay more than the first. First division, the Gambia. So, but prior to maybe you want to know, they want to take me to the air. So, I'm part of Oslo, but they want to take me to Gambia. So, I'm not going to I'm going to other team. So, you see, but that's why you will see 5 or 6 players from Senegal and play in Serekunda.
Okay.
Serekunda FA.
Yeah, Serekunda FA.
Mark it from today.
Sarah, I can give you these words for free.
Okay.
And you mark them.
Yeah.
How Gamtel we are preparing to achieve something in the league, their pattern is completely changed. Simply because this Senegalese is no more interested, is not interested in developing Gambian football. His interest is personally, because he will not invest his personal money to develop Gambian football. He will invest to develop his team to gain something. So when it comes to Gamtel, Gambian football is dead. Simply because they will only play the Gambian league, yes, because they can compete the league, but he's not interested in developing the Gambian football. Like the likes of Steve, he bought the team, his interest is to develop Gambian football, because it's the Gambians that are here. TMT, he bought his team, his interest is to develop Gambian football. So if you compare it, to be honest, this one I really don't support it. Look at Dangote, he wanted to buy Arsenal, but he's given a share. That it is only this amount of share Arsenal can sell you this team, failure of which they will not. Why is it that this man is not sold a share but sold for the whole team? It's really disappointing.
Okay, it's really disappointing, of course. We will go away from that topic, issue of Gamtel, and then we bring you a roundup of the local, football, local talents, of course, that has been happening, during the weekend with Omar Job.
Gambian players signed abroad in a week filled with exciting football action from Gambian players in various leagues. We start the run with Thomsen Fate, as Thomsen Fate was in Denmark to observe Vejle versus Viborg game. The game ended 1-1, and after the game, the Gambian Gava had a brief discussion with Hamza Bari Musa, Juara and Alassane Jata. Thomsen Fate shared his ideas and plans for now and the future. Aliso was back in the starting 11 for Angaraku, and he did not disappoint. The Gambian international scored in 75th minute as Angaraku won by 2-0. In the Europa Conference League, Omar Colley's Besiktas lost their away game versus Bodo. Omar Colley played the 90 minutes as Bodo won Besiktas by 3-1. Mamadou Sonko was on the score sheet in the Europa League versus Molde. BK Haken lost 5-1. However, Sonko proved that he can score at high level in European competitions. Thomsen Fitz says he has reached out to Sonko and his agent to convince him to play for the Gambia, he admits that it will be very difficult as Sweden national team is in the front seat. Sedi Janko and Ibrahima Sonko's young boys lost 3-1 against the European champion Manchester City. Sedi Janko came in as a substitute and played 10 minutes, while Ibrahima Koli was an unused substitute. We hope to see Sedi Janko and Thompson fit to forget about their past differences, as we definitely need him for AFCON. His experience in the highest level of European football will be very beneficial for the Scorpions. Thompson Fit reaction after watching Senegal vs Cameroon. It's going to be a very difficult game against them. Senegal are African champion and Cameroon are finalists. We are used to making surprises, but I want to make people know that we cannot make surprises every time. It's going to be very difficult against this team, but we will do our best. Idris and Daw have signed a 1-year deal with FC Phoenix as a free agent in the Kosovo First Division. The former Real de Banyon, Hawks Walidan and Jambour midfield maestro last played for Nuba SC in the Egyptian League. What a marvelous strike for Padiva. For some reason, he did not play many games for the Gambia while performing week in week out in Turkey. He has now decided to play for fun in Swedish lower divisions. Gambian international Yankuba Minte is injured. He will be out for several weeks with a muscle injury. The Feyenoord attacker got injured in his side 4-1 thumping over Vitesse on Saturday. Yankuba's injury will be a blow to the Gambian national team head coach Thompson Fit, who will be preparing for World Cup qualifiers against Burundi and the Ivory Coast next month. It's not clear how long the young lad will be staying at the sideline, but his club reported that he will be out for several weeks. A state club sold for $1.5 million to the Senegalese football mogul Youssou Faal. A successful team relegated to Gambian second division has been sold and changed to Serekunda FA, which is known to be the general public. The Senegal's transfer window saw fewer players crossovers this year, but those who did move brought quality and experience to their clubs. Notable transfers included Fakeba Jammeh, Abdoulaye Balde, Adama Jammeh, and Sekouba Cissé. Casa Sport made the most signing with 6, while Pekin and Jajawai signed 3 players each, and Tengue signed 2 players. Jajawai FC finishing third last season, strengthening their attack with Abdoulaye Gassama and Abdoulaye Balde. With Sekouba Cissé, the 2021 leading goal scorer, also joining Gambian players have historically excelled in the Senegalese League One, often dominating the scoring chart. The recent transfer window marked a departure from the norm, with more Gambian players leaving to sign with teams abroad. Notably, Abdoulaye Gassama was close to joining Algeria's MG Alga, while Ismaila Cissé and Omar Faye also secured moves overseas. This trend reflects the ambition of players like Sekouba Cissé, who aims to sign in Senegal before seeking opportunities in Europe or Asia. Boubacar Kebe, aka Anderson of Salgado, is a talented midfielder playing for Diamond Boys in Brikama Nawetan. Known for his skills, set pieces and assists, he is the captain of Brikama's zonal team in West Coast Region zonal football with 5 goals and 2 assists in 5 games. He is a key player. Kebe debuted in 2017, winning the league and later playing for Lions of Accra in Ghana. Despite any injury, he returned to the Nawetan, impressing scout. Now, teams from home and abroad are interested in signing the young midfielder. In a monumental move, a first division team has officially secured the signing of Bansang sensational star player Idrissa Jallow, affectionately known as Edie Boy. The dynamic midfielder has inked a 2-year contract with an option to extend, making him a pivotal addition to Team Rhino for the coming season in the GFF First Division League. Edie Boy, who showcased his exceptional skills while playing for his hometown club Medical, has now set his sight on dominating the midfield for Team Rhino. This transfer marks an exciting chapter in his career as he embarks on a new journey with a team known for its dedication to free-flowing, ball-centric football. Team Rhino's head coach is elated about his acquisition, stating that he was impressed by him from the first day he reported for training. He's a wonderful player and someone who perfectly aligns with their identity. Anyone who knows Team Rhino understands that they are a good balling playing team, and Edie Boy is incredibly comfortable with the ball at his feet. It's a dream to have him at Team Rhino, and Team Rhino are committing to helping him achieve his dream in this game. Jibril Silla opens Azam goal account. Jibril Silla was on target in Azam 3-2 defeat to Yanga. Silla leveled the scores and later went on to win a penalty for the host.
Omar Job giving us a roundup you know, of those football players playing abroad. Very, very interesting, of course. We've seen Coach Tom. Joining us, of course, will be Yero. Yero, we've seen Coach Tom was in Denmark to, you know, observe, you know, Gambian players playing, and he has a chance to talk to Hamza Bari, Musa Juara, and Alassane Jata. But not only that, we've also heard that Tom said yesterday that he has reached out to Sonko, you know, and his agent to convince him to play for the Gambia. But according to Coach Tom admits that, you know, it'll be very difficult. You know, our Sweden national team is in front seat.
Thank you very much, Sarah. And of course, I will thank Michael, and of course, Wakar from Sweden, almost calling from Sweden. Now, Tom, I think I'm going to the European, or you get the European diplomacy, with some of the international players, seeing what they're up to, what they're doing is a positive move, of course, and try to engage them. But again, I think that should have been constituted with a team that will monitor the daily or of course the activities of these players that are playing outside. No, per se, whenever tournaments are coming, or perhaps we're preparing for major tournaments like the African Nations, because that's the time you have to check on these players and so on. So this has to be a continuity, which is of course one. And again, if you give you know, the players who are playing outside that due, you should also try to come back to the Gambian League as well and observe the local based players, so that at least they will have you know, the zeal to say that there is an opportunity for us. If you see any player who is performing and you think he can fit in your system, you can easily bring them in. But if you only go in one side, sometimes you know, it gives lesser hopes for players playing here that they can even.
The question is it the FA that is financing?
That is also another. That's another. But the last time
it's not the FA. You know, I think it's cheaper for him to go to Europe
than coming to the Gambia. Yeah, I think last time when he had when he visited some of the European you know, players who are playing in Europe, he went out and of course said that he is the one who sponsored, or perhaps he pre-financed or financed perhaps you know, his you know, trips to go and visit this place and so on and so forth. Then automatically we have no question on that. The question would be if, you know, the GFF, of course, would be pre-financing or financing, you know, his movement from one country to another to monitor these players. That would have been a different ballgame.
To check here, if technical can just, you know, check on the voice for the our online listeners, of course, who are following us on Facebook. They've raised, you know, so many comments regarding the audio, of course, that they're not getting things very clear on the Facebook. If you can just make adjustment on that technical, yeah.
Yeah, as I was saying, I think it's important for definitely the GFF to constitute. If Tom is doing that, you know, voluntarily, perfect, very well, because it would not be easy for him to be also financing himself to come to the Gambia to watch the league and so on. But again, it's important for the Gambia Football Federation to think along that line, because if Tom is coming back to the Gambia watching the 4th Division League, players playing here will have at least the glimpse of saying, okay, we might play and have an opportunity at least to play in the national team or to get a national team call-up. But if that is not happening, I think you know, there is almost little hope for you know, for Gambian players who are playing here, that is the home-based players, to be called up for national duties and so on. So this is why it's important for GFF to think that way. But notwithstanding, Thomas had done a great job. If I use the if clause, if he is the one who pre-finance or voluntarily go to and visit these players, that's definitely a good move from Tom.
Campo, Tom is going around.
Yeah,
visiting Gambian players.
Yeah, but this is the first time you have been going to them and meeting these players. Hamza, and you have been this guy Alassane Jata for Real Madrid. He met them twice or 3 times to meet them, but he never caught Alassane. He was Alassane was injured, but I don't know this time he caught some new player. That's what this is because we are coming to the World Cup final. That is a very important one. That is
yeah.
Yeah, so that's why he's going around. So next week, maybe we might be like next 2 weeks or 3 weeks time, we will try and call this squad. Meaning we can see some newspapers are giving them that. So we do that but it is not easy for them because he's very and international so far. just a sub, but I mean, you can't even take a train, you cannot even take a flight, you go on, and go on. So, this country, you know, it's more easier than going to other countries.
Yeah.
That's so let's give it and see if it's you will see start going back to the squad.
And then he also said that, you know, getting Sonko will be very difficult, you know, as Sweden, I think they are on the front seat right now.
It's going to be very difficult because he was born in Sweden, and he has a lot of friends in Sweden, and even the conferences in playing in Sweden is more easier than it's going to be that you're going to play World Cup, you're going to play European Cup. Yeah, so they will easily tell him that, look, play for Sweden. And I know the way they choose the Gambia and Sweden, he will choose Gambia. He will choose Sweden, but that's why he will. That's why he leave, that's why his friend, although his father is a Gambian, but the mother is a Swedish. So it's going to be difficult, the way I told you. It's going to be a very big miracle. But I know the GFF will engage him. But I don't believe, like Tom said, I don't believe the guy will come to the Gambia sooner or later.
All right, he doesn't believe that the guy will come to the Gambia sooner or later. But you've heard of discuss about Gamtel issues here. You know, that is our main topic of discussion on Monday Night Football. You know, we talked to Falaboy, and then you hear his analysis, you know, of what trigger the sales of Gamtel. You know, but Gambians are not pleased, you know, that, you know, a giant, you know, telecommunication company, you know, as Gamtel has to sell, you know, the football team for 1.5 million at least. You know, it should have been in the market, you know, so that at least, you know, investors, you know, could have bid for it, you know, and the highest bidder, of course, will automatically, you know, wins it, or they sell, you know, part of a share rather than, you know, giving, you know, the investor full control, you know, of a team like Gamtel with all the history, and now it's no more called Gamtel, it's called Serekunda FA.
Yeah, thank you very much, Sarah.
I think, you know, to me, there's a foul play. You know, somewhere around, you know, and again, there's scarcely, of course, scary moments, you know, in this deal, in the whole deal. The foul plays, of course, when Gamtel was to be sold, or they've got the, you know, the plan to sell Gamtel.
When they
would
have an idea, you know,
they
of
could,
selling
Gamtel would have definitely make it public, because it is a public institution. It is owned by Gambians, and Gambians you know, paying their own monies into Gamtel, and then at the end of the day, it is Gambian players who are playing there. It's a fourth division, you know, team that have great history in this country. So would have at least make it published and allow other people, bidders, to come in, Gambians. Once they come in, you can easily go in for the higher bidders, and then you move on. And the other thing that is scary, of course, we know the regulations here. We don't have regulations. In other countries, there are always regulations. You buy the club, okay? Even if you buy it with full shares and so on, you always said, okay, all the coaches, based on this, all the coaches should be Gambian. All right, this number of players should always be Gambian, or this management would be Gambian, this percentage of management would be Gambian. But all these things have not been, I'm afraid this will not be put in place, Sarah. I think there is a lot of things that have been done that is scary, of course, in the whole deal between, you know, the Gamtel football club and, you know, the Gambians and, you know, in this country, because as it is seen a foreign national coming here, you surely and wholly will definitely be concentrated, of course, on the interest that you will gain in the team, not exactly what the Gambians can benefit from it. If there are no regulations and the owner said, okay, I will bring in foreign coaches to come and take care of the team, and so on, what can we do, or managers, and so on. Or else, if Gamtel had the idea to sell it, the first thing would have been, let's give the devil its due.
No,
let's bring in.
We just had that, you know, Kemo wanted to
buy it, yeah, and Kemo paid 2 million. 2 million, but they take Kemo 2.5, and Kemo then negotiate, then they go and sell 1.5.
If Kemo, a Gambian, of course, paid 2 million, and then a Senegalese paid 1.5, wouldn't it have been wise at least to sell it to the Gambian at even 1.5 rather than selling it to a Senegalese? Because, you know, the Gambian would rather, you know, invest on it and would rather, you know, develop Gambian football, you know, than selling it to a foreigner who would, you know, only concentrate on making money rather than, you know, helping the game develop, you know, in this country.
Very well, as you rightly said, I think this is why I said there's a foul play in the whole deal. Looking at how it all emanates and so on,
there are a lot of things that are not right. Because if you want to do something right, I think you need to do the right thing and the right at the right time. Making people to know this, Gambians who came in and wanted to invest their monies in this, why would you deny them? You know, that is the first thing. And not many of us will know or knew that the Gamtel was on the sale. So if those people knew and they came onto the bidders, we should have the right to know, you know, that this was, at least these are the bidders and so on and so forth.
In the market.
Of course.
On the newspapers.
Newspapers.
That Gamtel is for sale.
So, yeah.
The bidders are invited, just like Manchester United did.
Yeah. Or else, as Flamboy said, you know, sell a percentage. You know, and the other percentage will still remain Gambian, and you know, we still see what would be the percentage that the foreigner had there. How would he manage his percentage on that, and so on. But if you just come and sell the whole club to a foreigner, he comes in and controls everything. There are no regulations that regulate and tell you that this is where there is minimal law between a man and his property, unless and otherwise, if you know, the authorities will come in and say, okay, these are the regulations now that we are putting in place. With these conditions, we can sell this club. But now we are seeing that other Gambians had already to buy the club for almost 2-point-something million, and you come and see somebody who will sell it, buy it for 1.5 million, and you sell it at, there's a big foul play, Serekunda. And I think you know, we need to talk about this, and this thing needs to be seriously dealt with. This is why I think, in fact, Gamtel management and the authorities should be called at the National Assembly to be asked and questioned about you know, the whole deal of this Gamtel saga and so on.
Do you sense any foul play?
Yeah, there's a foul play, but I don't know why. Maybe some guy is there that is between them. Maybe one interest. Maybe telling them this the percentage, this what this guy have, this guy will tell you this. But I couldn't be saying that this guy will come with cash. I don't know. But I don't know. Other governments say that we will pay half of this, then later we pay this. I don't know. Maybe they don't conclude each other. What are they going to give here?
Yeah, but
I made them complete order. It should be like Gamtel is for sale.
Yeah.
Then people will come
and come and say, I've put in this amount of money, you know, and then the Senegalese guy also comes and say, I've put in this money, then Gambia will know, you know, how much is in play here. Yeah.
Some are saying they say 2.5. Some are saying 1.5.
Some say 1.5, some, but I had a lot, 1.5. Some are saying 2. But Kemu want to pay 2 million. But they told Kemu 2.5.
Yeah, Sadio Samu said National Assembly Committee on Sports should invite the management of Gamtel, you know, for questioning regarding the, you know, the sales of Gamtel.
Yeah, it's a big because Gamtel one thing I can't
Gamtel is owned by us. It's our taxpayer money. Gamtel was formed to the management. Like Kiki and Jada, they are staff of Gamtel.
Maybe we will also sound the opinion, you know, of those people, and also including Star Jallo. Star Jallo, you know, has been very instrumental in Gamtel. Star Jallo even having, I think he was even having the accounts.
No, he was part of people who bring Gamtel.
Yeah, I think in our next program we will rather or we, you know, speak with him via video, you know, so that he can also tell us his view, you know, regarding Gamtel.
Yeah. Why is selling our Gamtel, a government institute, selling it to a foreigner? It's unacceptable. I don't know how do they do it, but Gambia, many Gambians, if you ask them, make a vox vote, 90% of the Gambians will say they don't agree. Why? They don't agree. Gamtel have been sold. They will never agree with
no,
it.
there are some who don't even know that Gamtel has been sold.
So yeah, now they so we go history in Gambian football. They win 4 FA Cup. They win 2 League Cup. So now that will be better now.
Somebody say 1.5 is too small. Wow, Gambia is very sad.
It's very sad. Yeah. And Gamtel
everything that has to work in Gambian football. Now that history is deleted.
Just the brand.
No, it's deleted. It's deleted. Yeah. Now they move the location to Serekunda. Yeah. Gamtel their location is in Banjul. Now they because of it happened to Gamtel. Maybe next it will be immigration or armed forces or ports authority. Yeah, because of as far as they can sold Gamtel. Next maybe it's going to be ports.
Yeah, maybe it's going to be. I've been thinking of selling right now.
So selling now. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Now away from that, we will just give you a quick roundup, you know, of what is happening in Europe. with Omar Joe.
Erling Haaland scored twice and set up another goal as Manchester City beat Manchester United in the Premier League on Sunday to again showcase the gap between the two teams. Defending champion City put a dominant performance at Old Trafford in the 191st Manchester derby to add the growing pressure on United manager Erik ten Hag. This was Manchester United's 7th loss of the season in all competition and leaves it 11 points at this of leader Tottenham in the league. In Birmingham, Aston Villa maintained its strong start to the season with a dominating 3-1 victory over newcomers Luton Town. The win was Villa's 5th in 6th league games and leaves the club 4 points behind leaders Tottenham. In Liverpool, Mohamed Salah scored his 10th goal of the season as the Reds beat Nottingham Forest by 3-0. Egyptian international rounded off the win, which was the Merseyside club's 8th in a row in all competition at Anfield and maintained its 100% start at home in the league. In London, Dominic Calvert-Lewin's second half strike secured a 1-0 win for Everton at West Ham. The striker scored 6 minutes after half-time at the London Stadium as Everton won for only the third time in the league this season. Alvaro Morata scored yet another goal and Atletico Madrid beat Alaves by 2-1 for its 14th straight Spanish league victory at home on Sunday, tying its longest winning home streak. Athletic Bilbao added a goal by Alex Beregues 7 minutes into second half stoppage time to salvage a point as they drew with Valencia by 2-2. Fifth place Sociedad missed a chance to put pressure on the Champions League spot after conceding a stoppage time equalizer in a 2-2 draw at Rayo Vallecano. Isco scored 4 minutes into stoppage time to give Real Betis a 2-1 home win over Osasuna. Sevilla erased a 2-goal deficit before drawing 2-2 at Cadiz. Las Palmas beat last place Almeria by 2-1 and Getafe draw goalless with Mallorca. Jude Bellingham gives Real Madrid a win at Barcelona in the El Clasico. Jude won't forget his first Clasico match for Real Madrid, and neither will Barcelona. Already a fan favorite at Madrid, the young England midfielder established himself as its undisputed leader after he scored 2 goals, including an injury time winner to almost single-handedly lead a 2-1 comeback victory at his first rival on Sunday in the Spanish league. Kylian Mbappe scored twice to reach 251 goals in his club career as defending champion Paris Saint-Germain edged Brest 3-2 on Sunday to stay a point behind leaders Nice in the French league. Nice has beaten Clermont-Foot by a 1-0 to move into the first place on Friday and retain the top spot after Monaco lost 2-0 at Lille 2 days later. The league game between Marseille and Lyon was postponed after the Lyon team boss came under attack from fans throwing projectiles and coach Fabio Grosso suffered a head injury. The Lyon boss was hit on the way to start the velodrome, shattering some windows. Grosso was injured by falling shard of glass and needed medical treatment with his face bleeding heavily. Grosso suffered a deep cut above his left eye that required stitches and large bandage around his neck. Monaco dropped to third place with its first defeat on the road this season. Lille winger Erdon shone against Monaco, setting up Ivan Calvalero for a close through-in volley in the 32nd minute and Bafado Jakite for a low strike into the far corner in the 42nd minute. Lille consolidated 4th place, pulling within 2 points of Monaco. Also on Sunday, Montpellier beat Toulouse by 3-0 to move 2 points clear of the relegation place. Nigerian striker Ago Adams netted twice to raise his league tally to 7 goals, trailing only Mbappe. Rennes lost ground in the race for European spot by drawing with Strasbourg 1-1. South African forward Lebo Mahiba scored in the 81st minute to cancel out a halftime volley by Rennes left back Ardian Truffat in the 22nd minute. Metz drew with Le Havre goalless to snap a 4-point losing run, but remained in the relegation playoff spot. On a night when Romelu Lukaku was the focus of Inter Milan fans, Iri Marcos Thuram, who replaced the departed Belgian striker, scored in a 1-0 win over Roma on Sunday to restore the Nerazzurri top spot in the Serie A. Inter moved 2 points ahead of Juventus, which beat Hellas Verona by a 0-0 on Sunday to move on top. Albeit temporarily for the first time in more than 3 years, Roma remained 11 points behind Inter. AC Milan drew 2-2 with Napoli. Claudio Ranieri became the first team in Serie A history to overturn a 3-goal deficit after 70 minutes, coming all the way back to beat visiting Frosinone by 4-3 with a brace from Leonardo Pavoletti in the stoppage time. Also, Modena and Udinese drew 1-1 with Andrea Calpani and Lozano Luca trading goals. It was the 5th goal this season for Calpani, leaving only Jude Bellingham 10 goals and Brian Beno 6 among midfielders who have scored more in Europe's first leg this season. Julian Brandt's 82nd minute goal salvaged a 3-3 draw for Borussia Dortmund at Eintracht Frankfurt on Sunday that dropped Dortmund behind the Bundesliga leaders. The draw on a slippery field in driving rain ends a 5-game winning run for Dortmund in the Bundesliga and leaves it in 4th, 2 points off champions Bayern Munich, which won its game against Darmstadt by 8-0 on Sunday. That's it for today's Monday night roundup, but do join us next time for more sports updates.
Okay, thank you very much. That is Omar Job giving us a roundup of what is happening in Europe in Major League. Our focus, of course, will be Manchester United, Manchester City, Real Madrid, and Barcelona. What's went wrong for Manchester United a year ago? I've told you that in no way that Manchester United we got results against Manchester City. Looking at the form in which Manchester United is, and then looking at the form in which Manchester City is, and then the caliber of coaches, Pep Guardiola, Eric Ten Hag, and then looking at the caliber of players that Manchester City have and the caliber of players Manchester United have, looking at their bench also, it tells a lot that City, of course, if City don't humiliate Manchester United, but they would beat Manchester United, and that's what happens.
Exactly, as you rightly said.
Sarah, currently the two clubs, the Reds and on the navy blue, simply Manchester is navy blue because of recently what Pep Guardiola is been or is able to bring in Manchester City, speaks volume. They definitely dominated England, and of course won the last year the UEFA Champions League, and so had a great team, had great personalities, have sense of direction where he's heading to. Coming into the game, of course, between Manchester United and City, you will know both on paper, on the field, Manchester City would be the favorites to win the tie. But again, it's up to Manchester United. If they wanted to get anything from that game, all they needed was to definitely burn a lot of calories to run, to try and match up, of course, the intensity. Because Manchester City, they're a little bit slower than before. So they needed to just match up the intensity of what Manchester City will bring. Because Manchester City definitely will always want to play and use Erling Haaland to get the goals and so on and so forth. So it would have been very easy. But unfortunately, Manchester United, on the other hand, again, have been struggling with, to bring up at least an identical football. The football that one could say, yeah, this is the pattern that Eric Ten Hag want to play. This is what he wants to do. But nothing have been on the table so far for Manchester United. They lack, in fact, with that transition. Because once they win the ball, the power was for them to hit Manchester City on the counter-attack. But that couldn't happen because the transition wasn't smooth. They didn't have the materials to make the transition faster. They couldn't feed up the strikers and, of course, the flank players to go in faster. So this was one of the problems that Manchester United encountered. And even if they play tomorrow, with the same philosophy, the same style, Manchester City is going to defeat them again, because the sense of direction, what do you want to do? What do you want to come up with? That would have been the thing that would be differ. Because last year when they played, it was like, let's allow them to control the ball. We whip them on the counter attacks and we score goals. But this time around, we have a series of transition in the fourth half. It doesn't work, okay. And Manchester City definitely caught up. So it was an easy game for Manchester City. Total dominance, So embarrassing, of course, from the Manchester United. Being a Manchester United fan, I know you will be very much embarrassed to watch your own beloved club playing such kind of football with no identity.
I'm not a Manchester United
I'm not saying any Manchester United fan outside there would be outside there. I mean, the likes of Michael and the others, they are Manchester United fans. They would be very much embarrassed to see Manchester United playing like the way they are playing. Come on, there is no identical football. There's nothing that is, you can easily say this is what they have presented in that football. A big game like the Manchester Derby. At least whatever the case is, present something that you said, yes, we've lost, but we've lost based on.
Since the coming of Pep Guardiola to Manchester City, I think the Manchester Derby has just gone one side of the Blues.
Yeah. But one side of course.
Honestly,
it's a one-way domination. But I blame them because
Manchester United play with Manchester City in the FA Cup. I don't think. Yeah. But if you look at that tactic that he used, he dominated it. But it was a two-error mistake from Dage that caused Manchester United to lose that game. Why not sticking to that plan? He was trying to do that yesterday, but it was his plan was to hit them on counter-attack, waiting for them, but allow Manchester City to knock the ball down counter. It was working. It was working very, very, very fine. But later, when they have that plan, things change. He wanted to come, but still not don't stick his plan because second half is there. But from there, Manchester City was dominating from football. He was even confused and out of ideas. But definitely, they really dominate, and the fans are not happy. Right now, they lose 4 games at Old Trafford and in 11 games.
Are you seeing Eric going?
Yeah. No, I'm not saying, but end of the day, if you do not win if you don't win the Premier League, I know, if you don't win the Premier League, yeah.
To qualify for a major.
Yeah, to qualify the Champions League. If he did not qualify, I believe he's not going to stay because right now.
And if mind, Manchester are going to Europa League.
Yeah, but unless their qualification is on their own hand. They have to beat Coventry home and away, and Bayern will beat Galatasaray home and away. But Bayern will come inside Manchester United. They have to win that game. So from now, they have to continue winning.
Manchester United winning in Galatasaray.
Yeah, that's the big question.
That's the $1 million question. But you asked a very important question. Yeah. Should he be sacked? Yes. Evidence we have a lot of evidence that he definitely failed. You cannot bring a player of £100 million. The names of Antonio. A big game like Manchester City, you bench him. You cannot come in and ask for the captaincy strip from Maguire. Major decisions and everything is accepted. At the end of the day, you cannot bring in results. So this simply tells you that the high intensity football that he promised when he was coming. His interview, he said the high intensity football will be restored, which we knew him for, of course, in Ajax. That is not the case. Manchester United are more sluggish than any other player. He promised to get the best out of these young players that he have, of course, the likes of Grancho, the likes of Marcus Rashford and the others, which is definitely not working again. The players that he brought in with huge amount of money are the players that he's benching now. So you can see the actions that Anthony did when he came in the second half. That is enough for a competent coach to say, look, this you have to pay for it. Because deliberately, Anthony was annoyed, his body language was bad, and he came in, it deliberately was kicking Doku. You can see that. And what are the disciplinary measures that you need to put in place? Because you have to play that fair game to say, you have to play that fair game.
Okay, Manchester United have a long way to go, of course. Let's go over to the El Clasico. I don't call it right now El Clasico because, the El Clasico has lost the hype. It used to be. There's no Messi, there's no Cristiano Ronaldo, there's no like Sergio Ramos. A lot of things, happen. Real Madrid used to have the Galacticos, and then Barcelona used to have the best side, from the academy, giving it all, for the two teams. But right now, looking at the El Clasico between Real Madrid and, Barcelona is just like watching Manchester United play Chelsea.
Yeah, but isn't that because they have a lot of that big stars? You can name few from
Real Madrid side, that is Vinicius Junior, you have Bellingham, the old players, that is this guy, Toni Kroos and Luka Modric. For the side of Barcelona, majority of them have gone. The lack of Sergio Busquets is no more there. Messi, you can name it. So Luis Figo. So that El Clasico was not there, but it was a good game. It is the biggest game in Spanish football. Some even call it even bigger than the World Cup final, but it was just a proposal, but it was not bigger than the World Cup.
But I've seen a lot of Real Madrid fans match out the video clubs in the first half.
Yeah, when they maybe,
Because
the first five.
It's already finished.
No,
so
the first
they are
time,
going to
Barcelona started very well with the first 5 minutes, 6 minutes. They scored them very quick, but it was a mistake from Alaba. But from there, they were building committing it in the game. Barcelona.
But even you yourself in the first half, you don't have the belief that Real Madrid was going to win this game.
No.
In the first half, in the first 10 20 minutes, when nearly Barcelona make it 2-0. But from there, Real Madrid were creating. Up to 30 minutes, they were creating and pushing. Also, going with Barcelona 2-2. But in the second half, I mean that they will not stop Real Madrid from scoring. Yeah, because this current Real Madrid teams always score them, but they will come and score again, no matter what, and win the game. But in the second half, too, it was 50-50. Barcelona were playing, they also dominated. But when Bellingham scored that solo goal, then everything's changed. Barcelona's spirit was down. So from there, but now anything he touched is a goal. And also when Cavani's change was good, bring Luka Modric, when they bring Luka Modric, bring Camavinga, everything changed. So they were dominating football club Barcelona, and they fight up to the last dot and have that winning goal. Now they are on top of the La Liga table. It's not yet over because the La Liga is still now young because they play only 11 games too. So that's a long way to go.
Yeah, I think it was definitely a fascinating fixture and very important indeed as far as the La Liga is concerned. Winning, of course, against Barcelona or Barcelona winning against Real Madrid always, play a major part in how far or how you will end up your season. Because if Barcelona lose against Real Madrid, this contributes, or this could send even the signal that they might lose the league to Real Madrid. But it's football again. We've seen the new boy who stole the show at the night. But I said it one of the platforms that this game would surely be decided on tactics, and exactly this is what happened, because in the second half when they came, Barcelona were totally dominant. They marched in the first half. Real Madrid, everybody was like, okay, if this thing hold on, they didn't leave where they hold it. It will be a difficult night for Real Madrid. But again, when the magician of course come in, Luka Modric and the Camavinga, it was total change ball game. You can see the direction of which Real Madrid was playing, trying to operate through the flanks and switching the place, of course, at a faster period. That is, of course, the transition was much faster now, trying to build up using of course, Luka Modric, that is their midfielder. So, they could use, because they try to come through the flanks, but then it doesn't work. But you have to try and shoot and say. This time around, Jude Bellingham, of course, the new boy, the golden boy from England, stole the whole show. Fantastic goals, of course, and he wins it for Real Madrid, and
yeah, he stole the whole show. Of course, time is against us right here on Monday Night Football, but we can't go without this. Lionel Messi has won a record 8 Ballon d'Or.
Yeah, congratulations, and everyone was expecting
He's going to win because he won the World Cup. In the World Cup era, any guy who won the World Cup became a World Cup champion. But it always failed once. That is when Spain won it. Everybody was saying,
no stopping, huh?
Yeah. but this will be his last Ballon d'Or.
No.
Yeah. He didn't win last Ballon d'Or. 8 times, but now he's not playing in Europe. He's playing in America. And when they are playing in America,
World Cup again. And if that is the basis or the yardstick that they used to give him the World Cup, the Ballon d'Or, he can still go in and play for Argentina and win the win.
And the World Cup, but it's going to be very difficult for Argentina to win the World Cup back because major of their players,
football,
the major of their players will be old. Maybe major of them are not going to be there because of some will retire. They like Otamendi, other players, although they have a very good squad. But congratulations to Lionel Messi for the speed of 5. Everybody was expecting that he's going to win this Ballon d'Or, to make it 8 out of 8. He's very lovely at Argentina. At this home play. The time Gambia is playing.
Is he the good?
No, he's the good. No, he's the
good. Is he the good?
No.
For me, he's not my real good. My real good is Cristiano Ronaldo, but he's a superstar. Everybody who loves football and you admire football, to be honest, the guy is a gifted player and the guy is a superstar. I wish you went to Argentina. You see, when Gambia is playing, they even forget about Gambia playing. There will be a time the whole stadium with silence, and they started calling Messi.
Lionel Messi has won. What would say Messi is the good over Cristiano Ronaldo? Yeah, I know Manchester United fans and Real Madrid fans will never agree with me on that. You know, but looking at statistics right now, you know, on accolades, you know, won, you know, one would say Messi is on top of Cristiano Ronaldo, so he's a real goat.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Yero, you agree? He's a real goat.
Yes, I will agree.
Exactly. All right, this we're going to do the quoting here, right here on Monday Night Football. Yero, thank you very much for coming.
Yeah, thank you so very much, Sarah. And of course, thanks to all the wonderful
viewers from wherever you get in this, of course, beautiful Monday Night Football. It was a pleasure, of course, talking about what we love talking about most. That is, of course, football. And stay, you know, away from trouble and keep on sporting till we come your way next Monday.
Campo? Yeah, keep on sporting too, and I know out there, you the fans are enjoy watching us through on Facebook, on your satellite, on your comfortable zone, also watching us. So keep on sporting until tomorrow, until next week. I think in the radio still now.
Yeah, someone say we follow up, you know, the Gamtel issue. Yeah. Someone says we interview people, you know, talk about it. You know, someone even says, I think, you know, GFF should make sure that at least, you know, they return back, got to return back the money. All right. Yeah.
But they can put in regulations.
Yeah,
you know, regulations. They could come up with regulations. Yeah, very well.
New owners, and then, you know, transfer has been made. You know, the name has been changed, and the money has been delivered, and I know the money has been chopped also. Yes, exactly.
So the only thing that the GFF could do, or perhaps you know, the regulators
could do, is to bring in, you know, process and bring in some regulations that they will put in place, at least conditions that they need to, because in other countries you always bring in regulations and conditions that you need to abide by if you are to operate within the, you know, within the footballing fraternity of that country. So I want to believe that is the only option that would be available as far as this, you know, Gamtel saga is concerned. But yet still, we will definitely follow up about Gamtel issue to see what exactly and where the foul play comes from.
Yeah,
because
we will interview former Gamtel players, former Gamtel coaches, former Gamtel administrators, so that they can also give us insight into, you know, what really happened at the club.
I will give one guy number. He's part of he was a part of the technical side. I also
helped doing with financial. His name is Papa Bajil. He's in America. Yeah, if you ask him a lot, he will tell you everything. Yeah, what
and then we also say a big thank you to Mike Paul, who was right here with us, and also a big thank you to Fallabowe, all the way from Sweden, and a big thank you to those who are following us on Facebook, and also those who are sitting at the comfort of their zone in their houses, you know, watching the Monday Night Football. It's been a very interesting journey, of course, but a journey that we have to thank the technical crew, you know, headed by Bas. You know, our Monday night, you know, we always have a special technical crew, you know, that takes care of the Monday night, and then that's what makes the Monday night very, very special. And we do apologize for those on Facebook, you know, who were, you know, encountering audio problem, but at the end of the day, it was sorted out. Monday night, of course, will be coming back. That's going to be another Monday right here on Star TV. Sarah and Tiz, invite all of you out there. Keep on sporting.